Found your advice yesterday to the parents of the 28-year-old son that moved home to be a little smelly. And by the way, several people wrote in about this, Clark. You were right when you said that there's something else going on with this situation, but since we've been through this ourselves, recently we thought we'd share some advice from our own experience. When our 28-year-old son asked to come home and live to get back on his feet, we laid out some very clear guidelines that he had to agree to before we allowed him to move in. 1, he had to work a minimum of 6+ days per week. 2, we would take full control of his finances. This meant we had access to all of his online accounts so that we could see exactly what was coming in and what was going out and where. 3, we started him on your podcast so that he could hear advice not only from us, but from you.
That sounds like cruel punishment.
Discretionary spending was capped at $100 per month. I still think this was too high, but it was the agreement we made, so we stuck to it. We figured since we were providing everything he could possibly need, room, board, food, internet, and television, that there should be no need for him to spend any money beyond paying off his debts. And we also required that he be out on his own within 12 months. This meant with our help, he had to lay out a plan for how he was going to make that happen. Well, 14 months later, he had paid off everything except his car. He purchased a home with his partner, and he left with skills that should keep him out of trouble in the future. Carl in Richmond.
Carl, that is really an interesting, tough love story. It worked. And I'm curious, what kind of reactions did you have? You said several people wrote.
Yeah, it just felt like you were being too easy on it. Like that they needed to be tougher with the kid or make him go live with roommates. One person said kid, the adult, that they should get roommates, like other things like that. So.
Okay. I really appreciate the perspective because as I shared earlier, when we had the question before, 1 in 3, I think it is now, adult children come back boomerang back into the household.